Bigfoot sighting on tape, ghostly encounter that saves a man's life, or a man being visited at night by a predator. These are a few of the things we will look at, so stick to the end. In this captivating video, a man is filming in the dense woods of the Georgia mountains. As he explores, he unexpectedly comes across a large, brown, hairy creature walking on two legs, reminiscent of the legendary Bigfoot. The creature moves calmly and seemingly unaware of being filmed, navigating through the trees with a sense of purpose. The video offers a few seconds of zoomed-in footage. The resemblance to Bigfoot is striking, raising questions and excitement about the possibility of an actual sighting. In my personal opinion, seeing a video like this, especially if you often walk in the woods, can be quite unsettling. The thought of coming across a creature like Bigfoot, even if just a remote possibility, adds a sense of unease and mystery to any forest adventure. In this surveillance video, we witness a scene on a sidewalk during the late evening or night. The footage shows a man walking, with another man trailing a few meters behind. The setting is quiet, the street dimly lit. Suddenly, the man in front stops, and at that precise moment, the man behind him reaches out and touches his shoulder, prompting him to turn around. This simple act of intervention miraculously saves him from being hit by what seems to be a truck's back door, swinging open unexpectedly. What makes the video truly intriguing is what happens next. The man who did the saving disappears just as suddenly as he appeared. It's as if he had some foreknowledge of the impending danger, although there's no clear way he could have seen it coming. This video leaves an unsettling feeling, especially considering the mysterious disappearance of the man who intervened. It's as if he was there at the right moment for just the right reason, and then vanished into thin air. Do you believe in such coincidences? In this intriguing video, a woman is filming her family's shooting practice in a wooded area in the mountains. Her child and husband are aiming at bottles, creating a typical outdoor recreational scene. Above them, the distinct sound of a helicopter circling can be heard, adding a layer of curiosity to the setting.
Try!
You got it!
You gonna try the shotgun?
It's unclear what the helicopter is searching for, but its presence suggests something out of the ordinary. As the family continues their activity, the camera captures something unexpected in a snowy area a bit further from them. A large brown hairy creature is seen darting from one tree to another, seemingly trying to hide. Its appearance and movements closely resemble those commonly associated with Bigfoot. Watching this video, I can't help but feel a sense of unease, wondering about the true nature of the creature and why the helicopter was in the area. In this nighttime surveillance video, we first see the exterior of a house where a bear unexpectedly approaches, getting alarmingly close. The scene then shifts to an interior camera, showing a man asleep on the couch. He is suddenly awakened by a noise, the sound of the bear opening the door. Startled, the man stays put, trying to make sense of the situation. The bear, displaying unusual boldness, enters the house a second time, this time sticking only its head through the now open door. At this moment, the man realizes what's happening. He springs into action, turns on the lights, and bravely confronts the bear. Through his efforts, he eventually manages to persuade the bear to leave. This encounter is both bizarre and unsettling. Bears are known to venture close to human habitats, but entering a house is particularly audacious. In this video, A man is filming an expedition inside a dense jungle with a group of companions. One of them, positioned ahead, is preparing to cut something from a tree. Suddenly, without any warning, a gorilla bursts out from behind the tree, startling everyone in the group. The gorilla stands its ground, appearing as if it's ready to attack, creating a tense and frightening moment. The surprise appearance of the gorilla and its imposing stance understandably scare the men. Gorillas, while generally not aggressive, are incredibly powerful animals and can be unpredictable, especially when they feel their territory is being invaded or threatened. This encounter shows the importance of being cautious and respectful when venturing into such areas. This video, captured by a surveillance camera outside a house at night, shows a mysterious scene. The camera records a figure that appears to be a young woman in a white dress, walking from the corner of the house and heading out of the courtyard. What's particularly intriguing about this figure is its slightly translucent appearance, yet it remains quite visible in the camera's night vision. The image of the woman-like figure, especially her translucent nature, lends an eerie quality to the footage. It raises questions about whether it could be something supernatural or just a trick of the light or camera. For me, seeing something like this on a surveillance video can be quite unsettling, especially at night. This video, captured by a surveillance camera in a child's room at night, reveals an eerie occurrence. We can see a baby sitting awake in the crib. Suddenly, on the other side of the room, a humanoid, translucent figure appears and crosses the space. The figure's ghostly appearance and the way it moves through the room provoke questions about its nature. Is it a ghost? Or could it be a simple glitch in the camera's recording? The image of this translucent figure in a child's room at night is particularly unsettling. The idea that it could be a ghost stirs up feelings of fear and curiosity, especially in such a vulnerable setting. While it's possible that this could be a camera malfunction or an optical illusion, the idea of a ghostly presence can't be easily shaken off. Such footage leaves a lingering sense of unease and wonder about the unexplained phenomena that sometimes occur around us. This video, taken from a surveillance camera on a town street during the day, shows a tense and alarming encounter. A woman is seen walking her dog when suddenly, a coyote appears, initially growling, and then attempting to attack, clearly aiming for her dog. The situation quickly becomes fraught with danger. Reacting with commendable quickness, the woman lifts her dog into her arms, shielding it from the coyote. Meanwhile, other people on the street step in, their presence and actions causing the coyote to retreat and run away. This incident is a stark reminder of the unexpected nature of wildlife encounters, even in urban areas, and makes me really nervous to think that something like this could happen to anyone. This video, captured through various surveillance cameras inside a school, presents a surprising and chaotic scene. Initially, a camera at the front desk shows a deer running frantically outside the school building. Moments later, the deer dashes inside, its presence captured by another camera filming the hallways. As the deer races through the school corridors, it causes a stir among the students, with one student almost falling due to the unexpected encounter. The footage from different cameras shows the deer navigating the school's hallways at high speed, adding to the confusion and excitement. Eventually, the final camera captures the deer finally exiting the school. The whole incident leaves us wondering what brought the deer there and why it seemed so frightened. It's unusual for a deer to enter a school. This video sequence captured by various surveillance cameras around a house, documents an eventful wildlife encounter. The first camera, located at the front of the house, records a fox entering the property. The scene then shifts to a courtyard camera where the fox spots hens leisurely outside their coop. As the fox lunges towards the hens, the camera inside the hen house captures the frightened birds scattering in panic. The tension escalates until the family dog, responding to the commotion, dashes out of the house. The dog bravely confronts the fox, effectively chasing it away and protecting the hens. The final scene, captured by the front house camera, shows the fox retreating from the property. This video is a vivid example of the instinctual roles animals play in nature. The fox as a hunter and the dog as a protector. It's fascinating to see these natural behaviors unfold right in a domestic setting, a reminder of the interaction between wildlife and domesticated animals. In this video, filmed by an onlooker, we witness a tense and unusual situation in a natural setting. A man with his face covered, appearing to be attempting robbery, is on a property surrounded by nature, with no buildings in sight, only a tree and a stag. The stag, possibly feeling threatened or sensing the unfamiliarity of the man, starts to act defensively and chases him around the tree. The interaction between the man and the stag is intense, with the stag showing protective behavior over its territory. The man, realizing the danger, makes a quick decision to escape the situation. He finds refuge by climbing a wooden fence built around the tree, narrowly avoiding the stag's pursuit. The video ends with the man's escape, leaving a feeling of unease about the encounter. For me, the protective behavior of the stag is a reminder of how wild animals can react unexpectedly when they feel their space is invaded. In this video, captured by a surveillance camera in the courtyard of a house, we observe a scene that is both peaceful and startling. The house has a large pool and sunbeds, and on one of the sunbeds, a man is seen sleeping. Enter a bear, wandering into the courtyard, likely drawn by the pool's water. After quenching its thirst, the bear's curiosity is piqued by the sleeping man. The bear cautiously approaches the man and sniffs his leg, a natural expression of curiosity. However, when the bear lightly touches the man's foot with its claw, the man wakes up abruptly, startling the bear. This sudden movement causes the bear to scamper away, while the man is left in a state of shock, trying to comprehend what just happened. The video leaves an unsettling feeling, showcasing a rare and nerve-wracking interaction between human and wild animal in a typically safe and private setting. In this video, a woman in Peru captures a mysterious sight on her camera, zooming in on a mountain's peak. The image is somewhat unclear due to the zoom, but she manages to film several silhouettes atop the mountain. Initially, these figures could be mistaken for humans, but as one of them stands, it becomes evident that they are extraordinarily tall, almost gigantic in stature. The woman filming seems genuinely frightened by these towering figures, but continues to record. The video then splits into two parallel screens, with one side labeling the figures as aliens. One silhouette, particularly slender and towering, stands out prominently on a rock, adding to the mystery. This footage, especially with the suggestion of aliens, leaves a sense of wonder and unease. The height and build of these figures are unlike any typical human, raising questions about their true nature. Were they humans, giants, or something else? In this video, captured by a surveillance camera, we see a courtyard of a house nestled close to a forest, with no fence separating the two. The yard features a tree, chairs, a small table, and a charming arrangement including 2 birdhouses in the tree. As the scene unfolds, a bear wanders into the yard from the forest. Initially, we hear dogs barking in the distance, their presence unseen. The bear, showing interest in the birdhouses, starts to tamper with one of them. This action triggers a bold response from the 2 dogs, who suddenly rush towards the bear, barking fiercely, successfully driving it away from the yard. The video leaves me with an impression of admiration for the dog's bravery and loyalty. In this video, a man in a forest captures a peculiar sight. He zooms in on a strange figure nestled between tree branches. The figure appears black, possibly hairy, with 2 distinct yellow eyes, and an unnerving smile. The entire video is centered on this enigmatic creature. Throughout the footage, the figure remains eerily stationary, not altering its position, which adds to the unsettling nature of the video. The close-up shot makes it difficult to determine whether this is an animal or something else entirely. The static nature of the figure, coupled with its striking features, creates a sense of unease and mystery. This video leaves a lingering, unsettling feeling, primarily due to the creature's steady, unblinking gaze and peculiar smile. In this gripping video, we follow the perspective of a police officer on a mission in a dark house, accompanied by a colleague. They use flashlights to navigate the dim environment. As they cautiously descend the stairs, a sudden noise, like something falling from a nearby room, startles them.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Right now! King 1, did you copy that?
Upon investigating, they find nothing out of the ordinary at first. However, the tension escalates when they enter a room and initially see nothing. But then, chillingly, the figure of a young girl with her face obscured by black hair emerges. The policeman yells for the girl to get on the ground, but what happens next is truly terrifying. In an instant, the girl appears right in front of the policeman and attacks him. Her movements and behavior are far from normal, suggesting something supernatural, more akin to a ghost than a human. This video leaves an unsettling impression. The sudden, inexplicable attack by the girl, who seemed to move supernaturally fast, adds a layer of horror to the situation. In this unusual video, a man captures the extraordinary sight of a giant walrus roaming the streets, causing a stir among vehicles. Initially, the walrus focuses its attention on an orange truck, seemingly disturbing it. The scene becomes even more bizarre when the walrus moves to the front of a white car, its immense weight causing the car to bounce noticeably. The presence of such a large marine mammal in a street setting is both astonishing and surreal. Walruses are typically found in cold marine environments, making this urban encounter highly unusual. Watching a walrus interact with cars in such a manner is a strange and unexpected sight, certainly not something one would anticipate seeing in a typical urban landscape. In this intriguing underwater video, a man is diving in the sea, capturing footage of marine life. The water's clarity is moderate, allowing a decent view of the fishes and a rock formation he encounters. However, the most captivating moment occurs when he points the camera upwards. There, he captures the silhouette of what appears to be a mermaid swimming above him. The figure's resemblance to a mermaid, with what seems like a tail, creates a sense of wonder and mystery. The idea of seeing a mermaid, a creature of legend and folklore, underwater would be an extraordinary experience. In this distressing video from a surveillance camera, we see a house's courtyard where a puppy is playfully exploring. The calm scene takes a sudden and alarming turn when the puppy, venturing close to a bush, is attacked by a snake. The snake quickly wraps itself around the puppy, creating a perilous situation. The tension escalates as the puppy struggles to free itself. Soon, a mother and her daughter, witnessing the frightening scene, rush to the puppy's aid. Their attempt to rescue the dog is fraught with urgency and difficulty as they work to remove the snake. After a tense struggle, they finally succeed in freeing the puppy from the snake's grasp. It's a relief to see the puppy saved, a reminder of the importance of vigilance in protecting our beloved animals. In this video, two men document their experience in a forest. They start by describing how, during a hunting trip, they encountered what they initially thought was a gigantic bear standing on 2 feet.
So we're 4.6 from the truck, and that's the closest road. I'm coming down here, I'm beat, get my gear off, get ready to eat. All of a sudden Eric's like, oh my gosh, big bear, big bear. I grab my bow, I raise up, I look down the hill, and it is the freaking tallest bear walking on 2 legs I've ever seen in my life.
As the situation unfolds, they quickly realize that this is no ordinary bear, leading them to speculate that it might be Bigfoot. The video includes footage from one of the men's cameras showing a tall, hairy black creature sitting on 2 feet. The men then attempt to chase the creature, hoping to capture clearer footage, but they ultimately fail in their pursuit. The video, with its glimpse of the mysterious creature and the men's excitement and determination to follow it, leaves an unsettling feeling. The idea of coming across something so unusual and potentially legendary like Bigfoot is both thrilling and intimidating. This encounter in the forest adds to the lore of mysterious creatures that continue to intrigue and puzzle us. In the following footage, a remote-control drone is taken out for a spin in Salt Fork State Park, Ohio. As the pilot takes it out on a test run practicing its hovering capabilities, he unintentionally captures footage of a large, dark figure lurking amongst the trees. Pay attention to the left side of the screen. The footage is easily missed. It looks like a large black dot. But watch as the video is enhanced with a spotlight. The figure becomes unmistakably clear. The drone is eventually lowered to the ground, and the unsuspecting pilot comes to claim it was completely unaware that only a few feet away, this hulking creature is standing, more than likely aware of him, listening to him, watching him.
His spectator, he's not standing that far away. Not far enough for me.
What do you think? Is this footage authentic? A bright and warm summer day. This poster is enjoying time out in nature, but they are not the only ones soaking up the sunshine. Watch what becomes visible when they spot a shape in the distance. Zooming in with the full capacity of the phone camera, a familiar figure is recorded resting against a tree. Recognize the ape-like features, the color of its fur. Imagine its size if this video was filmed and zoomed in from some distance. Imagine you're hiking through the woods with your dog. Suddenly you become aware that you are not alone. Just beyond, in a clearing through the trees, you spot a large dark shape resting on a tree stump. In this footage, the poster appears to capture something large, black, and covered in fur. The quality of the video is poor, but a shape is visible, as are its movements for a fraction of a second. Beyond this, it's anyone's guess whether it's Bigfoot or a bear.
He's moving, he's moving, he's moving. Daisy, come here. Daisy, come here.
All we have to go on is the conviction of the poster's claim and the rising fear in his voice as he calls out to his dog. Not all First Nation beliefs around Sasquatch are favorable. Whilst some believe that sightings of Bigfoot bring good luck, members of the Plateau tribes identify Bigfoot as a stick Indian, drawing from a diverse range of potentially hostile beings who stole salmon or confused people by whistling, causing them to get lost. Here, a poster zooms in on a figure spotted in the woods. The large Neanderthal-like creature is studying something intently in the branches of the tree, unaware that it's being filmed. It has been suggested that it is stalking something. Is this an ape filmed from a deceptive angle that makes it look far larger than it is? Or is it a Sasquatch? You be the judge. Depending on who you ask, the thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger as it is more commonly known, has been extinct for decades, or just really good at hiding. This sighting captured in Clifton Springs, Australia in 2019 claims to be the real deal. Resembling something closer to a wolf than a tiger with distinct dark stripes on its back and tail, the thylacine was hunted to extinction by European settlers who held unwarranted fears that the carnivorous marsupials would attack their livestock. The last known Tasmanian tiger was given to the Hobart Zoo in Tasmania in 1931, and it died in captivity in 1936. More recently, cryptozoologists, hikers, and hunters have claimed to have spotted the animal. But a study conducted by scientists based on sightings suggests that they got it wrong. Some are adamant that the species are not extinct. The animal caught on camera here seems to represent a compelling argument. It does resemble a wolf, and the stripes are visible on its tail. Unfortunately, it might just be too far away to be considered conclusive. Our hopes are that scientific study did get it wrong, and that the species has managed to survive in some remote part of Tasmania, far away from human interference and harm. This footage terrified me the first time I saw it. A creature that looks like a combination of a woman with some kind of feline animal. But what I then thought upon seeing this is that it looks similar to the legendary mythical creature known as succubus, which is a kind of demon that appears in a female form, or supernatural entity in folklore, traced back to medieval legend. It is said to appear in dreams, and takes the form of a woman in order to seduce men, usually through sexual activity. I am pretty sure this footage is fake, as I am not exactly sure how anyone would be able to survive such an encounter, if they do indeed exist in the first place. What do you think of this footage? The following video, shot in Fort Wilkins Historic State Park, claims to have captured a Sasquatch on camera. In the video, the large, furry humanoid creature is clearly seen walking through the forest. At some point, realizing it has been spotted, it stops and takes cover, blending into the environment. This is by far some of the closest and clearest footage we've seen in a while, and perhaps we've been conditioned to be skeptical of this kind of footage. Again, compare how this Sasquatch moves and the awkward way it peers through the branches. Is it just me, or is it walking like it's got a bad back? The peering through the bush also feels staged. Sasquatch or hoax? Picture this. You've just moved into a new place. Your first taste of independence. The only problem is that since you moved in, your dog won't stop yelping and clawing at the entrance hall closet. At night, he refuses to come up the stairs. You've also started hearing things. Sometimes a door will creak open, or just as you're falling asleep, the sound of footsteps coming up the stairs. This is exactly what this guy was experiencing in his new house. For these reasons, he decided to set up cameras to see if anything comes up. He sets one in the kitchen and proceeds to climb the steps towards his room. But just as he does this, something behind follows him upstairs. We can even see that this shadow figure has some sort of legs. Is it a ghost that is trapped in the house, or is it something more malevolent lurking there? Avoid creepy, abandoned buildings. They always attract the worst kinds of things. The poster of this video claims he got a skinwalker on camera. He went to explore an abandoned warehouse, but he started hearing things from a room. Rather than going in, he saw a window that allowed him to catch a glimpse of this. A humanoid figure seen standing almost motionless in the room. It does resemble some kind of zombie-like trance. Could this be a skinwalker, or is it a fake video set up by someone trying to grab some attention? Remember the sheer joy that came with renting a movie, going to the store and browsing the shelves for something new to watch, hoping that whatever you chose was actually available and not already checked out? The guy in this security camera footage might not be as nostalgic. Watch what happens as he does the rounds packing the DVDs back on their shelves. It seems a playful poltergeist doesn't care that the store is closed and is pretty adamant they're going to check out something tonight. A surprising encounter occurs in St. Mary's, Idaho. The poster, out on an evening walk, startles a skittish fawn who, uncertain of what to do, makes a run back into the brush. What is surprising is what emerges from the bushes moments later. A large doe with a visibly twisted neck. She has obviously been drawn out of hiding to check up on the fawn. It is a miracle that the deer has managed to survive and give birth in her condition. The Department of Fish and Game are aware of the deer and say that it has been in the area for a number of years. Biologists think that the deer's neck was broken in an accident, but was not fully severed, and it has somehow managed to beat the odds, even with a broken spine. Others are not convinced by this explanation and suspect something more sinister, suggesting that the doe is a skinwalker that has shapeshifted into this peculiar form. Whatever you believe, it is an alarming and unusual sight and has led to locals christening her crooked-necked deer. A TikTok poster shares a video of what they claim is a moose being stalked by what appears to be more than one Bigfoot. It's difficult to verify the Bigfoot claims in this instance. It's dark outside, and all that is visible from between the trees are two sets of eyes. It is possible these could belong to other moose. But as they move, no trace of an antler or ears is visible. It's definitely creepy, as one needs to remember that moose are large and very aggressive animals that can weigh up to 1,500 pounds with few predators apart from humans. So if something is hunting them in those woods, it's got to be strong and big to stand a chance. A family picked the wrong place to camp when they spotted numerous eerie apparitions on camera. Facing a nearby wood, they witness a host of ghostly shadows moving between the trees. At first, there only appears to be one, but the number quickly grows as the pale shadows shift. One appears suspended above the branches. The quality of the video is poor, but the presence of something haunting is clear. Did something terrible happen on this land that it is populated by so many spirits? Oftentimes, camping grounds can be notorious for being old battle sites or awash with unmarked graves. People who have visited such places claim to hear the sounds of men shouting, cannons and gunshots, and the sound of the military man drums. It isn't clear from the video whether the family decided to brave it and stay the night or make a quick getaway. A curious buck spots the camera on its nighttime prowl. With utter stealth He quietly moves across the field of vision and continues to eat unperturbed. Had he suspected danger, he would have released a series of loud bellows to warn any others to be on the lookout. 2 mysterious skeletons are discovered on a beach in Great Yarmouth, Norfolk. One is slightly larger than the other. What is unusual about them is that both seem to have tails like a fish. Are these mermaids or some convoluted hoax? This isn't the first time these skeletons have washed ashore. In the last 3 years, strange skeletons have appeared on a beach in the UK and in Australia. These skeletons were even longer, approximately 6 foot in length. It is unclear from the video the actual size of the skeletons, which are in a grim state of decomposition. The one skeleton is in pretty bad shape and missing a few ribs. This is possibly due to being flung up against rocks, or it was the cause of death when this creature was still living. Some skeptics suggest that they are the remains of seals, but the skulls look remarkably human. Do mermaids exist? What do you think? A man comes running from the dark road ahead and is illuminated in the car's headlights where the person is filming. He appears to be afraid and excited at something he has spotted further on up the dirt track. The car, undeterred, continues to advance. A strange alien-like creature is seen shuffling across the road. The car stops some distance from it, while the man we encountered earlier returns for a closer look. It looks unlike anything we have seen before, almost like some kind of crab with short tentacles instead of claws. Is it some horrible fault of nature? It's difficult to tell from such a distance, which is a possible indication that it's a fake. The person filming seems extremely calm and quiet, and the feel of the video does seem to be staged with the arrival of the man in the beginning. Surely, they could have gotten a little closer, or at least zoomed in. This big boy has nothing to worry about come winter. His body will have plenty of reserves to keep him going. Most bears appear big and fat, but that is still not a reason to think you can outrun them. They are often pure muscle and faster than one would expect. However, obese bears like this one are becoming a little more common as they have discovered human food and started to raid homes, campsites, and dumpsters instead of hunting. Who can blame them when the food is so accessible? And it requires a lot less effort than running and hunting. Sadly, this also puts a target on their heads because they pose a threat to humans and have lost all fear of us. They will continue to get more brazen in their pursuit of food, some even breaking fences to get inside. American black bears are the most common bears in North America and are generally smaller and less aggressive than their grizzly cousins. The use of paintball guns to scare them away have been some of the non-lethal measures applied. But sadly, the lure of human food is just too great. A poster captures this alarming sight on a hike in the woods. A deer displays uncharacteristic behavior, turning in circles. A couple of centuries ago, a sighting like this would warrant claims of possession or witchcraft. There are a few possibilities, but it seems that it's something worse. The animal is afflicted with an illness that impacts deer, elk, reindeer, and moose known as chronic wasting disease. An abnormal protein attacks the brain, causing holes and lesions. This results in the animal's brain becoming like a sponge and leads to chronic weight loss, stumbling, and confused behavior. There is no cure. The disease has a fairly long dormancy, and so by the time the animal starts to show these symptoms, death is imminent. A trail camera captures these bear cubs having a great time exploring with their mother. She is teaching them all about how to hunt and exist in the wild. One cub has mastered the art of lifting rocks in search of tasty insects or larvae that live underneath them. He even enjoys a quick lick of one before running off to join his family. Black bears usually birth 2 cubs. The cubs will stay with their mother for about 17 months before they are forced to stop traveling with her and fend for themselves. For now, these mischievous babies are having a wonderful time in their natural habitat and the protection of their mother. This time, a concerned or annoyed mother wildcat appears, calling urgently into the darkness. No sooner has she finished calling when 3 adorable youngsters come bounding out of the bushes, heeding their mother's call. No doubt, she is schooling her offspring on how to survive in the wild. Through watching and mimicking her behavior, they will learn how to fend for themselves. It is evident that she has sensed danger, and her quick alert and the pace at which they run off has spared them harm. Any idea what species of cat this is? Post in the comments. There's something creepy in the woods. There's something terrifying visible out of just the corner of your eye. A cyclist tears through the woods at night, and his camera captures something strange to the left of the screen. A figure looms, tall and menacing. A weird tube-shaped head, visible arms and torso. It appears to be wearing a suit. Is it some kind of bizarre totem? Or could it be a scarecrow? Problem is, this isn't farmland. This is the middle of the woods at night. A trail camera set up in the hopes of catching the activity of nocturnal fauna captures way more than anyone had anticipated. Watch the zoomed-in footage as a transparent object comes into view from the left-hand side of the screen. At first it appears to walk, but then as it comes more clearly into focus, the demon's shadow begins to crawl on all fours, its freakishly long body resembling some kind of awful reptile. The fiendish nightcrawler disappears from range, no doubt off to haunt some unknowing camper. One wonders how it came to haunt this forest and why it can't leave. It's not always clear why people set up cameras in the woods unless the goal is to capture unsuspecting wild animals going about their business. But every now and then they get more than they bargained for. Check out the following trail footage.
What the is that? 4 days ago. Oh my god, I don't even want to touch my laptop, bro. I feel like it's looking at me.
An extreme close-up reveals that something is looking back. An inquisitive yet somewhat sinister eye peers deeply into the lens of the camera, the gesture almost threatening. Perhaps sightings like these will become more common. Perhaps they will start to communicate their intentions. But for now, they are watching. The sound of a child's laughter. Is there anything more delightful? Except when a child's laughter is heard, and the child doesn't exist. A night security man experiences a truly harrowing encounter with an entity on what is to be his last shift. The distinct sight of a child's hand is visible on the low-level glass window as it bangs on the glass and laughs in pure joy. As the security man rounds the corner, you expect to see the child, but just as abruptly as it started, the commotion stops. Nothing. The night shift security man hands in his notice the following day. It seems child's play is not for everyone. There's something about the fear and energy in this video that makes it both terrifying and exciting. Cell phone footage appears to capture what looks like Bigfoot running between the trees.
Stop!
Whilst there is a lot of scrambling and panic to record the moment, the actual footage is pretty clear as far as recordings go. Are you convinced? And for all intents and purposes, bears a striking resemblance to many of the other sightings we have witnessed here. But there is something about the way it is running that makes me a skeptic. Bigfoot or not, let us know in the comments. A street security camera captures a bizarre occurrence. A humanoid figure with long limbs is spotted bounding on all fours through the deserted street. There are two things that make this footage disturbing. Firstly, the creature is naked, and secondly, it shows remarkable agility, if it is human, to move at such pace on its hands and feet. It scurries off as an animal would, with no evidence of where it came from or where it is escaping to. Is this another skinwalker sighting? The witch on her way to hex her victim? You be the judge. Is this another skinwalker sighting? The witch on her way to hex her victim? You be the judge. The thing about ghost sightings is that they are not always dramatic or even that visible. Something caught moving in your peripheral vision, an alarming sound that you can rationalize away by blaming the wind, a fleeting dark shadow on the stairs when no one else is around that disappears as quickly as it appears. Small occurrences that are no less disturbing. Watch as this poster captures a dark, shadowy figure moving up the stairs and vanishing from sight. It seems unlikely that whatever is there is human, as it disappears way too quickly. The first few seconds of this video are bizarre. A group of Frenchmen out on camping trip are traipsing through the dark without a flashlight, presumably returning to their campfire. The mood is jovial but soon changes when the area being filmed is suddenly illuminated. As if by magic there is a campfire burning gently, but that is not what our attention is meant to be drawn to. It is what is directly behind the fire, peering out from behind the tree. A hairless, ghostly white cryptid looms. Its dead eyes, like two dark pools in its head, stare back at the campers from its vantage. Some suggest it's a skinwalker, associated with bad omens and death. It prowls the forests in its pallid disguise with malevolent intent. The cameraman grows quiet in the creature's presence, and the mood changes. What happens after the sighting is anyone's guess, but I'm not sure I'd have stayed to find out. The following footage is difficult to decipher, obviously zoomed in significantly. The poster claims to have captured Bigfoot in plain sight. Granted, I cannot dispute the fact that something is there. Large, and covered in fur and does not appear to be a bear, but beyond that, it is extremely difficult to say for certain. Watch closely as the creature who appears to be aware it is being watched moves ever so slightly. Do you think this is what the poster claims, or is just too much of a reach for the imagination? A snowy night, two hunters are out and armed with guns. As the snow begins to fall, two glowing eyes become clearly visible to the right of the tree straight ahead. The hunters are being watched and possibly hunted.
I don't hear it anymore. Oh shit, Dill. Right there, bud. Something in there. There's more than one. They're watching us. Hey!
The person filming sounds visibly afraid because whatever that is watching them is not the only one, and instinctually something about this presence tells him that it is not an animal. The unblinking eyes continue to stare in the direction of the men, undeterred and unafraid of being shot. There's a reason they don't want us to speed, and it's got nothing to do with the rules of the road. It seems that once you break the acceptable limit, you might just end up like these guys on a literal highway to hell. Keep an eye on the rising speedometer, but wait for the moment our attention is drawn to something else visible on the side of the road. What can only be described as a demon stands watching as the car speeds past in a fury of pedal to the metal. For a moment, its distorted features are visible as what looks like smoke, but is more than likely the quality of the video taken at high speed, is seen rising off the top of its head. Perhaps it's just as well they were flying past. I wouldn't want to give that terrifying hitchhiker a ride. A generation of us kids were traumatized by Chucky, and later it was Annabelle. Malevolent dolls with murder on their minds, possessed by demons and able to move on their own. This poster claims to have discovered these creepy dolls in the basement of her new home. Seems the previous owner didn't want them. She also claims that one of the dolls appeared to move on its own. Notice how their eyes follow you and never stop. What would you do with them? Villagers capture a strange creature on the roof and remain surprisingly calm considering its appearance. It's possible to identify a shape and two bright eyes emanating from the darkness. The growing group of onlookers seem more bemused than terrified. It's possible they've seen this entity before. The creature remains surprisingly calm and still throughout. On initial viewings, it might be easy to dismiss this as a human. It does seem to possess a human body, and whilst relatively large, the limbs are proportionate. Where it becomes harder to reconcile the theory is the facial features, particularly those eyes that seem too far apart to be those of a human. Thankfully, it seems to be calm in spite of the attention it is receiving. This magnificent lynx is spotted navigating a frozen river. As it steps out onto the ice, a sound not unlike a crack is heard. The cautious predator decides not to risk an icy dip and effortlessly leaps to the other side. A lynx has large legs that allow them to jump up to 6 feet off the ground and up to 25 feet horizontally. This jumping ability, coupled with a robust skeletal structure and well-muscled body, allows the lynx to easily navigate rugged terrain and catch prey with remarkable efficiency. This natural athleticism is a key aspect of the lynx's hunting strategy and is a distinctive feature of this elusive wildcat. This poster manages to capture a furry bipedal creature running through the woods. The footage, which is remarkably clear, shows the creature making a quick escape from something or someone. The woods seem to be a cesspit of terrifying entities, and this one is no different. Have they unwittingly captured another Bigfoot on camera, or is this a hoax? Again, watch how this creature moves when compared to other sightings. There's something quite comical about its gait. Either way, the sight of something running in the nearby woods at night would be disturbing, especially when the creature in question appears to be neither animal nor human. The footage you are about to watch was recorded in the early 90s on a handheld video camera. The videographer was on holiday with his family, and they decided to take a day trip to the exquisite Mono Lake. Whilst his children played on the beach, he panned the camera to get a shot of the landscape. They left and remained oblivious to the fact that they may have just captured a Sasquatch on camera within a short distance from where the children were playing. The video remained uncovered for 17 years until a family member discovered it and noticed something strange. Granted, it's only a few seconds and fleeting to say the least, but there is something there that makes your blood run cold and cannot easily be explained. Watch closely as the large, brilliantly camouflaged creature moves and becomes visible. Emerging from between the rocks, it lumbers forward before turning abruptly on its heels and making as if to leave, possibly because it sensed it was spotted. Is this the legendary Sasquatch? Some have suggested that the video is a hoax, citing the one-dimensional shape the creature takes on when it turns as being a cardboard cutout. But this is not easily reconciled, as the quality of the tape is poor when zoomed in. You be the judge. It's late, you're in bed. You've switched all the lights off and your eyes have become accustomed to the dark. If you look around your room, you start to see shapes. The clothes you flung over the chair start to look almost human. The more you look, the creepier and more realistic it becomes. This poster claims to hear someone crying in her room. Watch as her camera films in the direction of the noise and captures a human figure standing in the darkness.
Do you guys hear that crying? Look, it's moving. What the f? If there's something over there crying. Do you guys see that?
It seems to have its back to the camera and is wearing a dress. Faint sobs are barely audible. Do you see it? We've featured a lot of skinwalker videos here on Trail Terror, but some of you might still be wondering what exactly these creepy creatures are. In Navajo culture, a close but not exact translation describes it as a witch. This was someone who committed unspeakable acts to obtain the power to shapeshift in order to do harm. Skinwalkers often take on the shape of animals, but more often than not, they appear as these ghostly white entities. Watch as this poster spots something disturbing behind the shed. Shooting in the direction of the sighting, she captures a featureless, deathly white face looking back at her.
Oh my God, nobody is gonna ever believe this. Oh, shit. Alright, we're going back inside.
One can also hear the sound of a child crying, but it has an almost echoey quality, as though it is not a human voice. It is not stated, but it is possible that the sound of the child crying is being mimicked by the skinwalker. It is claimed that they use this ability to fake the voice of a loved one or someone in distress to lure victims to their death. Sightings of skinwalkers are often considered personal attacks, in that someone has put a hex or curse on you. It is confirmed the aliens are here, and they have some truly phenomenal powers of disguise. Watch as this shocked poster notices something untoward when looking up at the sky. At first, it looks like a cloud, but then it starts to move. Yes, clouds move, you say, but no, not like this. Before our eyes, the camera captures the cloud transform into some kind of spacecraft or UFO with lights in it. The aliens are not even trying to hide, as the spacecraft moves across the sky and vanishes behind the houses. These sightings are becoming more prevalent, and the quality of the videos is improving too. It's almost as if they want us to see them. Notice how slowly the UFO progresses across the sky.
The first couple of viewings of this video definitely had me perplexed. A lady in white has all the makings of a scary movie. And we can see this lady passing the security guard, after which she just seems to vanish into thin air. The fact, however, that the security guard seems to almost appear out of nowhere as well, makes me deduce that the CCTV quality is not the best. There seems to be a specific glitchy spot, making things disappear in that particular place. But there is always the chance, of course, that neither the lady nor the security guard were real, and that both are ethereal bodies from another dimension, both caught on camera appearing and disappearing.
Tourists in Asia capture footage of this incredibly beautiful and unique-looking squirrel. The nimble and agile animals easily scale the wall with its lengthy drop and do not appear to be afraid of humans. The origin of the video is unknown, and the species depicted is described only as a squirrel. It's hard to imagine such beautiful animals even exist. Its bright red fur and striking eyes make it look outer-worldly. Could this be one of China's famous flying squirrels, or flying foxes as they are sometimes known? The ease with which they move from great height would indicate so. as with the manner in which its body flattens and fans out when it is seen jumping from the wall to the ground. If you know what this amazing animal is, let us know in the comments. If you want to see more interesting footage, then watch this.